Cloudy tonight, maybe a shower, the low 61. Mainly cloudy tomorrow, a breezy, cool day with a couple of showers. The high 68. Bit warmer on Thursday with more clouds than sun and maybe a shower. The high 75. Partly sunny Friday, a little on the less humid side. The high 77. It's mostly cloudy and 60 in Central Park. Humidity 72%. Winds northeast at 8. Reviewing the current temperature, 60, headed to 69 in Midtown. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Hurry, only 13 weeks to see Mia Farrow and Patti LuPone in The Roommate. USA Today says it's criminally funny. The Observer declares Farrow and LuPone are a perfect pair. And The Guardian calls these icons the hot duo of Broadway. Hurry, tickets at theroommate.com.
Winds News Time, 7:34. The list of the best colleges in the country is out. Oh, we love lists, don't we? U.S. News and World Report out with its national rankings that take a look at nearly 1,500 colleges and universities using up to 17 measures of academic quality. Lamont Jones Jr. is with the publication. He says topping the list is Princeton, followed by MIT and Harvard. But he says there were some surprises.
There were some schools that actually jumped quite a bit. For example, Florida International University comes to mind. They cracked the top 100 and overall in the top 50 public universities for the first time ever.
Hey, speaking of colleges and universities, tonight and tomorrow night, there's a big college fair at the Doubletree Hilton in Nanuet, New York. Representatives from nearly 150 colleges and universities are going to be on hand. Admission is free from 6 to 8:30, parents, if you want to take your kids over there. Tonight and tomorrow, Doubletree Hilton, Nanuet over in Rockland County. Big college fair going on. Hey, if you've just purchased a new computer or other electronic equipment, there's a warning from a police chief on Long Island.
You are excited because you just bought a new tablet, cell phone, or gaming computer. You put the item in your SUV not knowing Old Westbury Police Chief Stuart Cameron says someone is watching.
Specifically in the Apple Store for whatever reason, and then they'll actually follow the person. And if they make another stop along the way home, and they'll break the window in the car.
And just like that, your new item is gone, stolen.
You know, very often people now are driving SUVs and they lack the security of the trunk that you used to have with a sedan. So somewhere in their car, these Apple products may be secreted, but they're still available.
He says you always have to be aware of your surroundings. Sophia Hall, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM on Long Island.
Well, season 26 of The Voice kicked off last night. Young lady from Queens turning the judges' heads and their chairs. 1010 Winds Entertainment's coming up next.
At Six Flags Fright Fest, terror lurks around.
Welcome, fellow historians. Today is September 24, 2024. If you just landed on this video, the mission is to record local broadcast history for future generations by providing a daily snippet of the news broadcast as I go to work. I understand that these videos are not the most exciting, the most entertaining videos in terms of YouTube content, but I do feel it's important to record a daily snippet for future generations to look back nostalgically, come back 30 years, see what was going on Broadway in this area. I also do videos in other cities as well when I'm not going to work, but I'm running an errand or something. So make sure you're subscribed and you're liked so that you can be notified of any of those videos. I do feature videos where I drive in other areas of northern New Jersey. So make sure you're subscribed and you'll become a historian on the Documenting History channel.
And with the Cintas Workwear program,
We're currently on a commercial. We're still on Broadway on my way to work. I make this morning commute every morning after I drop off Mrs. Cardona to her job. And I actually listened to the news every morning for years and years and years. But a couple years ago, I decided to start uploading them, because I have a dash cam that I've been using for years as well, and I would listen to 1010 Winds. And I started thinking that back during the pandemic, when I was driving to work, because I'm an essential employee, imagine having all those daily snippets for historical purposes.
Snoop Dogg going in hard on the Eagles' heartache tonight. We also met 9 singers who are going to be competing for the crown this season. Chris Dio is the 16-year-old from Queens. She went with a Jason Mraz tune for the blind auditions. on Team Bublé. She lives with her single mother and sisters. She says she tries to play the piano in her Queens apartment. The neighbor is just constantly banging on the wall.
Entertainment on 1010 Wins is sponsored by Shulman and Hill, New York's injury lawyers.
Go to hurtny.com.
That's hurtny.com.
Want to get away in a New York minute? With MSC Cruises, skip the airport and sail year-round from NYC to Paradise from $3.99. Plus, kids sail free. Discover the beauty of the pink sand beaches of Bermuda or the turquoise waters of the Bahamas and Florida with stops at Ocean Key, MSC's private island marine reserve. MSC Cruises for a greater beauty. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Price based on per person and includes taxes and fees. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak. No.
Floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, from the hustle of Manhattan to the soul of Staten Island, we are New York's all-news station.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning. We are at 60 degrees, mostly cloudy skies at 7:40 on this Tuesday, September 24th. I'm Scott Stanford. Here's what's happening. Did we mention it's Gridlock Alert Week? Today's the day President Biden speaks at the UN General Assembly. 10 a.m. his last speech at the UN as president of these here United States. Tensions continue to mount between Israel and Hezbollah, and that means more U.S. troops are being sent to the Middle East. A hit-and-run driver in a black SUV leaves a 64-year-old man dead in the Bronx, just a couple blocks from his home. One witness did get a license plate number for police. Port workers up and down the coast could be headed out on strike before the holiday season. Glenn Schuck taking a look at how the port in Bayonne could be affected. Hey, good-looking folks, could you please raise your hands?
You are so good-looking.
Yeah, people think it's easy being so pretty or handsome, but many lucky ones have taken to Reddit to talk about the disadvantages of being so hot. It's rough. Checking sports, very important Mets-Braves series begins tonight in Atlanta. Yanks can clinch the American League East tonight against the Orioles. AccuWeather mostly cloudy, high 69 today. Winds news time 7:41. Traffic and transit will get you back out to Karen Stewart.
I have no better news for you in Brooklyn and Staten Island. We are jammed on the Staten Island Expressway from off the Staten Island bound Goethals Bridge all the way to the Verrazano, up and over, and into 54th Street on the inbound Gowanus in Brooklyn. At 54th, there is a crash. Still, since 5:43. In the HOV lane. And then we've got another accident up in Hamilton where the left and center lanes are blocked. You can drive 4th or 5th Avenues instead. If you're on the belt, do not take it to the Gowanus, take it to Ocean Parkway and take Ocean Parkway up to the Gowanus Expressway via the Prospect Expressway. We got a bunch of things happening in Queens, and one of them's on the Cross Island. The northbound Cross Island Parkway has delays into Jamaica Avenue. We've got an accident there. We've got the left.
Sorry about the blurriness there with the sun hitting right on the windshield.
In Central westbound, they just cleared the disabled vehicle at BQE, but the delays still go back to City Field. Now, as we check what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels, we've got 40 in at the GW Bridge and the Lincoln. The inbound Holland has got a 50 minute wait, and if you're traveling, it's the Long Island's big three are not bad. The westbound LIE has a delay from Lakeville Road to the Queens line. The Northern State has delays at exit 29 for the LIE crossover. And the westbound Southern State is slow from exit 26 out to exit 21. LIRR is good. I'm Karen Stewart, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Well, global leaders hitting the town for the UN General Assembly. Joe Biden is scheduled to deliver a speech today for the last time there as President of the United States.
Along with President Biden addressing the world leaders today, Ukrainian President Zelensky will speak at a high-level meeting of the UN Security Council. He'll address the General Assembly tomorrow morning. Palestinian President Abbas and Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu take the stage on Thursday.
That's Stacey Lynn reporting. The president yesterday in a bilateral meeting at the Oval Office with the UAE's president. They did discuss the conflict between Israel and Lebanon.
I've been briefed on the latest developments in Israel and Lebanon. My team is in constant contact with their counterparts, and we're working to de-escalate. in a way that allows people to return to their homes safely.
The Pentagon says more U.S. troops are being sent to the Middle East as tensions between Israel and Hezbollah rise. Officials in Lebanon say Israeli strikes killed nearly 500 people yesterday, while injuring more than 1,600 others. It's the deadliest day of fighting between Israel and Hezbollah since 2006, and another U.S. carrier team has launched into that region.
The U.S. military already has numerous assets in the region, including the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier, a fleet of destroyers, USS Georgia submarine, and thousands of troops on military bases. Just today, another carrier group set sail for the Mediterranean, 6,500 sailors on board on an already scheduled deployment. Its arrival would allow the U.S. to have 2 carrier strike groups in the region in case tensions continue to mount.
That's correspondent Charlie Daggett. WINS News Time 744. 45,000 dock workers in ports from Maine to Texas could be headed out on strike just in time for the holiday shopping season. Workers are looking for a pay raise, but negotiations have stalled. One of those ports that could be affected is the port over in Bayonne. That's where we find Glenn Schuck this morning.
In fact, hundreds of workers alone would be impacted here at the port of Bayonne. Here's Mayor Jimmy Davis.
When you think about it, like any other strike, who wins? The workers are going out. If it's a prolonged strike, they're not getting paid. The companies have to shut down, especially when you're talking about a port, and now you're talking about our supply chain, which we all learned that lesson during COVID.
More than $200 billion in goods like produce and car parts come through New York and New Jersey ports every year. Beth Ann Rooney with the Port Authority explains how serious this is.
The ships that are en route will do one of 2 things. They'll arrive off of the East and Gulf Coast and they will anchor in designated anchorage areas, or they will slow down and they will drift.
Even a strike lasting only a couple of days could impact that supply chain for months. Glenn Schuck, 1010 WINS, 92.3 FM.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Documenting History. Remember the 4 YouTube commandments: like, share, subscribe, notification button. Thou shalt subscribe. All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you on the next episode.